Welcome to the online classes from Dhaka Secondary School, North Karachi campus. Assalamu alaikum students of class 7 in the online class of Social Studies. We are studying chapter number 16, The Road to Independence, and I am your teacher, Miss Uzma. Topics of the day are the 14 points of Qaid-e-Azam and importance of 14 points. The 14 points of Qaid-e-Azam. Mr. Jinnah's 14 points were in response to the Nehru report. The gist of these points was the Muslim demand for autonomy, equal representation, and rights in the federal government. These points were outlined in 1929, when Jinnah still believed in united India. However, considering the changing attitude of the Congress and Hindus, these points became the basis of a separate homeland for the Muslims of the subcontinent. The 4 points given in the book were the main ones for the future of Pakistan, but we will discuss all the 14 points. Remember that at that time a single country was envisaged after independence. The background of 14 points. Before starting that, we will discuss this. In 1928, the Hindu leader Nehru presented Nehru report. It was completely against the Muslims. It had broken the Lucknow Pact as well. Qaid-e-Azam rejected it and presented his 14 points. Basically, the wave of communal harmony between the Muslims and Hindus in India created in the early 1920s by the symbiosis of the Khilafat movement with M.K. Gandhi, non-cooperation movement was replaced by an atmosphere of grave mistrust between the two communities. Jinnah celebrated 14 points presented on 30 March 1929 were one passionate attempt to make sense of the situation and reach upon a solution through parliamentary means within the framework of a united India. 14 points of Qaid-e-Azam are as under. Number 1. Federal Constitution. The form of the future constitution should be federal with residuary power vested in provinces. Means the central government should not have all powers. Instead of this, they control the foreign affairs and communication type things, and provinces should have rights to manage their things or affairs as education, health, sanitation, or etc. Number 2. Measure of autonomy or provincial independence. A uniform measure of autonomy shall be granted to all provinces. Means give the equal power to all provinces. Autonomy means the power or right of self-government. Number 3. Election of legislative or effective representation of minorities. All legislatures in the country and other elected bodies shall be constituted or on definite principles of adequate and effective representations of minorities in every province without reducing the majority in any province to a minority or even equality. What legislature mean? The constitutionally defined power to propose a new law or bill. So it's mean that in legislature should save the major and enough right of minorities and should not be try to reduce the majority into minority and minority to majority, even the equality. Number 4. Muslim representation. In the central legislature, Muslim representation shall not be less than 1/3. as it is for Muslims' betterment and it was so important. Number 5. Passing of resolution. No bill, resolution, or any part shall be passed in any legislature or any other elected body if the 3/4 members of any community in that particular body opposes it as being injurious to the interest of that community, or in the alternative such other method is derived as may be found feasible and practicable to deal with such cases. Means if the particular bill after passing affecting any community directly or indirectly, then it is compulsory that the members of that community should decide. So in this point it was tried to make sure that no one interfere other communities. Number 6. Separation of sin. Sin should be separated from the Bombay Presidency, because after that sin could have more chances to get developed. Number 7. Introduction of reforms. Reforms should be introduced in Northwest Frontier Province and Balochistan on the same footing as in other provinces. Means the areas which are ignoring should have chance to get developed. Number 8. Protection of Muslim culture. The constitution should embody adequate safeguard for the protection of Muslim culture and for the protection and promotion of Muslim education, language, religion, personal laws, and Muslim charitable institutions and their due share in the grants in aid given by the set and by self-governing bodies. Number 9. Representation of communal groups. Representation of communal groups shall continue to be means of separate electorate, provided that it shall be open to any community at any time to abandon its separate electorate in favor of joint electorate. Number 10. Territorial redistribution. Any territorial redistribution that might at any time be necessary shall not in any way affect the Muslim majority in Punjab, Bengal, and Northwest Frontier provinces, because by territorial majority can change into minority, so it should not be happen in Muslim majority areas. Number 11. Religious liberty. Full religious liberty, that is the liberty of belief, worship and observance, propaganda, association and education shall be granted to all communities. Number 12. Formation of cabinets. No cabinet, either central or provincial, should be formed without there being at least 1/3 of Muslim ministers. Main Muslims should have part in central and provincial government. Number 13. Changes in the Constitution. No changes shall be made in the Constitution by the Central Legislature except with the concurrence of the states constituting the Indian Federation. Number 14. Equal opportunity of jobs. Provision should be made in the Constitution giving Muslims an adequate share along with the other Indians in all the services of the state and in the local self-governing bodies, having due regards to the requirements of efficiency. Now the conclusion. The 14 points of Qaid-e-Azam prove to Hindus that now Muslims will never accept the Hindu domination easily. Importance of 14 points. Thus we can say that the Qaid-e-Azam not only protected the political rights of the Muslims but also provided the structure of the constitutional reforms in India. Had these been admitted, perhaps the history of the subcontinent would have been different. Congress could not assess the foresightness of Qaid-e-Azam. This led to the Round Table Conference in 1930 at Allahabad. The Act of 1935 set the Hindus and the Muslims in the different directions. Questions are in front of you. Do them very carefully and thank you.